So I'm back with another new video, which is indeed a follow-up of the previous video. So like I said before, I will be following up mostly, in most cases, on my prior videos. So make sure you follow us, watch our videos regularly, and like and subscribe, so that will help you to follow even better. So now this one is also about profile building, like the one we discussed earlier. The last one was more generic on what's important for profile building, whereas this one is a little more specific. It's directed towards students who are in their high schools or who aspire to do an undergraduate degree in the US or any other countries overseas. So as you know, for an undergraduate degree, profile building is very important. You get to hear that all the time, and you get a lot of advice from a lot of people everywhere around you. But really, you never know what is right, what to do, what not to do. So there's a lot that needs to be discussed, that can be discussed, but we are, and this is not in our scope here in this video to discuss everything. So what we should do is go over some 2-3 very important points, and later on when you take up a counseling session with us, and hopefully when you take up our services, you'll get all the insights on really what's important for you. So now going over the major points. First of all, the first and foremost, identify your interests and aptitude. So you need to know what subject you want to study as your major for your undergraduate degree. Now, you may argue here, in most cases in US universities, they do not really ask you to identify the major unless and until you are probably in your sophomore year, maybe, which is the second year. But having said that, if you have a preliminary idea of your aptitude, your inclinations towards a particular subject, then you can do a more targeted profile building and selection of universities. We'll come to that in our later videos. So, some things have to be a little focused. Maybe you cannot decide everything for certain at a certain stage, but you should know where your interests lie and what you're good at. Now, there are various ways of knowing that. Some people know that for sure without any help. Some people need their teachers, their mentors to guide them through this, while some other people tend to rely on psychometric tests, which are actually very good. So, whichever way you prefer, but make sure you know where you're going and what you want to do with your career later on. Just an outline of it. You don't need to have the specifics at this moment. But having an outline will help you develop your extracurriculars and other activities also in the right direction. So for example, you determine by various means that you're really good at math and computers. And so you want to be a techie. You want to take up computers as a major later on. So naturally, you will be wanting to go to universities that offer good computer science programs, and not just that, not just in terms of academics, but also allow you to expand beyond academics and maybe work in collaboration with the industry or somehow put your skills to test. So now for that, what will those schools look in you as a potential student? You need to know that. So for that, you need to build up your profile accordingly. Now, if by trying to be a techie, you take up something like dance as an extracurricular and you highlight that, you can in some cases. But then it should be related to your interest in tech. It cannot just be dance. Okay, dance you love, you do, go ahead with it, suit yourself. But in addition to that, you need to understand the basics of programming. you need to do a few things that shows that you are proficient with basic level programming, or somehow you need to show your interest in computer science. It's not just enough to say that, I am good at school level computer science, I'm good at my academics in school, and I'm good in maths, and I get good grades. Fine, fair enough. There are hundreds of others who are applying along with you who have ticked all those boxes. Now what do? Where is that extra edge? How did you really go out of your way to prove that really I'm interested in this subject? So these things matter. So this was just an example, a random example for that matter. Now it really depends on you as an individual, what you have right now, what you intend to do later, and then bridge this gap if there is one. If there isn't, then there may be more means to, even boost up what you have, to make you look even better, to help you aim for even better schools. So see, you need to know where you are headed. Now next thing is quality versus quantity. Now we will deal with this aspect in two different stages. One is by quality versus quantity when we say that, good grades as quantity, they are quantifiable objects. So your grades as well as your scores, your test scores. So how much do they matter? They do matter a lot, especially the academics part. It is important everywhere, even where your test scores don't matter. So academics pay good attention to your studies. You need those grades, trust me. So without those grades, everything else becomes moot point. So don't ever neglect your studies. Even if you have at some point, it's time to gear up and get going towards the good grades. I know you can. And then again, there are test scores also, SAT scores, and sometimes IELTS, TOEFL scores. So these are some things that also, of course, needs your attention. In addition to that, quality in the terms of non-quantifiable parameters like your extracurriculars, what you're good at, how dedicated you are, how skillful you are at certain things. These things are important, trust me. They show you how complete you are as a potential student in that particular institute or in that particular program, in institutes of a certain category. So definitely pay good attention to quality. And then again, let me move on to the next stage of quality. So it is, now when I talk about the extracurriculars, the other aspects of your profile other than academics and test scores, as I said before, it has to be in the right direction, A, and B, you have to show enough dedication to it. So again, it's not the number of extracurriculars. It's not like if I take up 10 activities and maybe I do one activity maybe for 2-3 months and leave it and then move on to the next one, because of course we cannot tackle 10 activities all at once. But in a span of 2 years, I've done 10 different things, but each thing I've spent only 2 months on. This does not show much dedication on your part, mind you. So when you take up something, you have to show that you're committed to that cause. Be it social service, be it anything that you do, photography, dancing, or anything for that matter. You have to show you're dedicated as a person to anything that you take up. You're passionate. So having 2-3 key extracurricular activities that are focused on what you want and following them through for 2-3 years, that really shows that you're determined, that you're perseverant. So these things again matter. So now you understand a little bit about quality versus quantity, I hope. And then the next point that I'm going to talk about a little bit more is give it some time. Whatever you pursue, as I said, give it some time. You cannot rush through everything just to put everything down on your resume and make your resume look big and have that flair. No, that doesn't work with the admissions committee abroad. So they want to see few things on your resume that you've been really passionate about, how you've excelled in them. Even if you've not excelled, at least you're given your best to them. You've pursued them with passion, with dedication. So you need to be persistent with your extracurricular activities. And then you need to customize them to your requirements, to your personality, your character, and the school's requirements. So which is why you, as I said before, should know where you are headed. So customize, that's very important. Don't just listen to anybody around you and start taking up anything at random. That will not land you anywhere. You need to customize based on who you are and what you want. And of course, one bit of advice, and I'll wrap it up. Start early. As I said, you need to show a prolonged commitment. For that, you need to start early. And what is early? 9th standard is early when you're trying to apply for a bachelor's degree abroad. And trust me, when you're starting something at 9th standard and following it through to your 12th standard, it shows dedication. And there are times when you will have to pause because you have your 10th boards, you have your 12th exams. So you have to pause, really. So you need to give it that time, to show that, you have followed through your passions and you understand who you are and what you want, right? So start early is one big piece of advice. And even if you feel you're a little late, no problem at all. You can work from here right on because you know where you're headed, right? So you know what matters. Alright, so I think that was some insight. I hope that has helped. To know more, contact us, call us, visit our website, and you can even write to us. You have all the details in the website, and the website link will be given in the description. Keep following our YouTube videos. Any questions you have, you can post, on this as comments to this video, and we would definitely want to address those. We would want to see you, meet you, and have you on board with us, and want to guide you thoroughly so that you do not miss this opportunity to be in your dream school and to follow a dream career. In our next video, we will come up with more profile building ideas, tips and tricks, but that will be for Masters and PhD students. So if you're not applying for a UG program, but for a Masters and PhD program, keep track, keep watching us. Thank you so much.